As we head back into the back to school season, families of incoming high school seniors may be preparing differently for their child's final year. Education consultant Gwen Thomas is here with us with some advice for parents so you don't get overwhelmed by the process because it can be a lot.
It is.
Thank you for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
So, with all of that in mind, what should parents be thinking as they try to prepare so that they don't have that feeling of being overwhelmed and feeling like it's just too much to take on?
Well, I'm going to be real with you as much as I can. First of all, let's hope our parents have sat down with their students during the summer and that they're already applying for college. But if not, they need to have a bold conversation. Are you seriously interested in attending college, or are you looking at skilled trades or vocation? Any of the three, you still have to plan. And so that's important that they have that discussion about how they're going to even pay for college. And so we want to make sure students are going into sustainable careers. Gone are the days that, students are going into fields where there are no jobs. I mean, they have to align themselves with the Department of Labor. What they're saying, these companies out here are looking for talent, and they're looking for talent that are going to drive innovation. So that means that you have to gear your student, or you should be gearing your student toward 21st century careers. And so that means that might mean a little education on both parts. But we want to make sure that you sit down and you develop some goals. If you have not already developed goals, that means have you visited the college or the vocation school or the trade school? Do they have the exact programs? Because there's a misnomer. I mean, skilled trades programs are wonderful. There are many out there, but you have to make sure that is there an entrance exam? There's a certification process. Is it free? Will you get paid for it or not? There's still preparation. If you elect to go to vocation school, for example, if you're going to esthetician school or cosmetology, which is big now, how are you going to pay for it? And a lot of times these schools, the beauty schools, are not reaching out to consultants to say, hey, I've got 100 kids that are enrolling. We don't have a financial aid program. We give them information, they apply, but they need help with how to apply for FAFSA. They need help with, if they're going to pay for that, should they get a loan? Or are there scholarships available? And, they call me the scholarship mom as a term of endearment, because this is the work that I do is the solution to the problem of college debt. This is my solution to educate as many students and parents about this whole process. So I tell families, get the right information as far as, the timelines. Right now, students should be applying for college. They should be preparing themselves if they need additional help with ACT and SAT. Developing relationships with their potential schools. And that is, if there's a key speaker in their field, they should be visiting that college and finding out more information to make sure it's a good match. In addition, there's monies available for college without students getting in debt. And families oftentimes call me the very last minute when that student is in trouble and they're coming back. So don't pretend that you can pay, $40,000 a year, because that's 40 times 4. That's $160,000. And sometimes families don't have the bold conversation to plan and say, we've set aside $25,000 or $50,000. And I tell families, even if you have it, don't use it, because there's scholarships available. So, and especially my families who are going the medical track. I tell families, if I have to write a check, it'll be a check when my student is getting that white jacket, when they're on their way to medical school. But it's so important that they plan and set timelines. And now they should be beginning to apply for scholarships. The month of September will go by very quickly. Students need to right now be sending letters to their teachers and other organizations that they've been engaged in programs who can speak to their character, who can speak to, their discipline and talk about their academic achievement, because they'll need that in their dossier. So some people out there are going to say, Miss Gwen, what is a dossier? A dossier is like a resume. It's telling that student's story. Well, in 10th grade, I did this. In 11th grade, I did this. I'm also involved in this. These students are, it's so important that they build their self as a brand. And so that's what I do all day, every day, to help students build themselves as a brand. Hopefully they will begin to research that particular field that they're going into. Find out who the leaders are in the field. If you have desires, for example, to be a neurosurgeon, find out who are the top neurosurgeons in the area. Find out what they did. Find out their research, and making sure you're going to a college that's a research institution. These colleges should have bragging rights. And they should say, we have the best neurosurgeon. They came out of Oakland University, or they came out of Michigan. And so that's what I tell students and parents to start early with at least some goals in mind.
Yeah, you definitely want to shop around, and like you said, that time comes around very quick before you know it. Gwen, you sound like a wealth of knowledge. How can people reach out to you if they want to get some help?
Well, I wrote a book. The book is called The Parent Smart Guide to Sending Your Kids to College Without Going Broke. It's vital scholarship information from students from middle school all the way to PhD. It's available on our e-commerce site, which is freshperspectivesseminars.org. We work with students and directly with school districts, and we come in and work with them on the hardest thing for students to do, and that is writing winning scholarships. And our students win.
All right. Good to know. Gwen Thomas, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.